yo, good people. Welcome to the HerbMan Show.
Yes, sir. Yo, good people. It's your homie, HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all of the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I am none other than your homie HerbMan, right? And all we do here on the HerbMan Show is simply teach people how to heal themselves. And you cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. So we teach you here about the human frame and the human design so that you can be well on your way to the top three things we all want: happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. So please go tell somebody that the HerbMan Show is on. You guys, welcome into the room. Welcome into the room. We come on every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll come in live from South Africa right now, live on your TikTok, live on your YouTube. Please go subscribe and be notified every time the HerbMan Show comes on. All right. So that's what we're doing, you guys, busting you guys upside the head. This is free information station. You don't have to pay for any of the information that you're going to hear today. Okay. But all you simply got to do to pay for it is pay attention. And how you do that is by double tapping that screen and get us up to 100,000 likes doing the live. All right. So what we normally do is we start out at 1,000 likes. And since we are already there, we'll get right into the subject matter at hand. Look, there has been a growing phenomenon about understanding that numbers is the first language. Okay. Now, this is old information, but you know, we living in modern times. Some of y'all just not coming across a lot of this ancient information. And so now, even though you're 72, you're learning again something new. And even though you're 3 years old, you're learning something old, but you think new. So we get it. But it is nothing more than a rediscovery of old information that's been out here. Now, the bottom line to what we offer you here on the HerbMan Show is to understand that there's a tool and a resource that we can use to get you back in tune with nature. It's almost like a tuning fork. It's a compass. It's a directional map. It's a GPS system on your life, right? And so when we ask the question of, do you know where you are? That's very, very important, because not knowing, it's a real deep question. Once you think about it, it's a real deep question. Like, do you really know where you are in life? You're like, I know where I want to be. I know where I started out. I know where I think I am. But if you got more knowledge about where I really am, then let me know. But see, the thing about it is understanding what first you got to understand first what the finish line really is. What is the race really all about? What is the end goal really is? And then first I need to understand, okay, then where am I in that race? Where am I in this dynamic of having to being able to understand how to get in a oneness or get in tune with nature? Where am I in that dynamic? So this is what these are the questions that you may ask yourself, but these are the answers that we're going to be able to answer for you using this age-old tool. Okay. And what we're saying also is that it is important to facilitate the consciousness of the patient or client just as well as facilitating their bodies. And there is a particular way that nature can do that might be better than machinery. And you can be constantly being inventive with infrared light and all this stuff, but this artificial light ain't going to work as well as sunlight. You can say hydrogen and alkaline water, but that ain't going to work as good as natural spring or well water. You can say, well, if I do these high quality proteins and grass fed, this, and that, and the third, but it ain't going to do as good as real garden grown, not farm raised. I don't like saying farm raised because that automatically in my mind means mass production. And when you mass produce something, that means you ain't got enough manpower to watch all these cabbages you had to spread. Because bugs gonna get your shit. See, when you really know gardening, you know there ain't no way in the world you can really keep a big garden without spraying it with something. Y'all wake up, man. Go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. All right? See, y'all know that, right? You ain't know that. Like, man, if you got something out here big as anybody backyard out here, hey, ain't nowhere in the hell you can see about all these cabbages and collard greens and squash by yourself. So that means that these are heavenly induced. Although you produce them, you heavenly induced them. So I don't look at farm raised, I look at garden grown tomatoes, garden grown onions, garden grown sage and rosemary, and garden grown oregano, and garden grown mint, and garden grown paprika, and garden grown peppers, and garden grown. You see, it's garden grown, different from farm. So every time you come here, you'll learn something different about how you should view the things that you should be looking at and doing. Okay? No more of that farm raised and farm grown. Oh, they said it was farm raised. Okay, mass produced. And keep it moving. Okay, keep it moving. Mass produced. So what we do here is try to get you to understand the significance of knowing where you are in time and space. Now, today is going to be Leo. It's 7/24/2025. All right. So when the sun is shining its brightest into Leo, right? So why on Earth? Because the Earth orbits the sun does not orbit the Earth. If you guys didn't know, it's Science 101. The Earth orbits the sun does not orbit the Earth. Okay? That means that the Earth is going around the sun. The sun ain't going around the Earth. So when you're looking at the sun's ecliptic, this is really the motion of the Earth. As the Earth is orbiting around the sun, you find this design in the sound wave or the sun wave. This is also electromagnetic wave. This is also the infinity sign. If you can't see infinity in this design, this is also your way of showing you everlasting life. This is also the map of north and south and east and west. Because if you don't understand about anything about tropical astrology, is always north facing. So that means that you're in the south facing north. You come out of this womb of the mind, out of the womb of the reproductive organs, back into time. Got to get back home. You got to go north. When you go north, everything is on the right. The right is the feminine side. That's where your healing is at. But this is also where rest, meditation, concentration, focus, and all these things that you need to do is at. So what we are actually encouraging our people to do is get more sunlight, real sunlight, encouraging people to get better water, the real water, encouraging people to get better foods, the real foods, encouraging people to get better air, the real air. Okay. And then we're also encouraging people to deal with these spiritual tendencies based on your birthday. It's going to tell me when your spiritual tendencies are, so you can't run from that. So in your birthday, got all the information. Okay. It's got more information than your hair sample, your stool sample, your saliva sample. It's got more information than your blood type. It's got more information than your blood sample. It's got more information than the live culture coming from your little nasty bump down there. It's got more information that, and also guess what? It ain't gonna poke you. It ain't gonna prod you. We don't have to prick you. We ain't got to stick you. It ain't gonna be invasive, and it's non-intrusive. All we need is a birthday to get the information that's actually been needed on you since your mama them had you. Your mama them ain't even got the information that this got on you. So then this is going to give us a lifetime of information where the hair give you 90 days, where your blood give you 24 hours. Which one would you do? So now you come into this paradigm understanding that life moves in waves. The man finna show me how to balance the wave that I'm in. You can't jump over here. Hey, you talking about you can't jump to a good time. But what you do is you formulate the good time into the, look, you can have fun on a low tide, same way you can have fun on a high tide. You just got to choose the right thing to do during the right time. You got to be able to choose the right thing to do during the right time. So right now, the sun is shining on the earth in Leo. Now, The sun is shining on the earth in Leo, makes it 7/24/2025. Okay. And the darkest place on the earth. If the sun is shining, I want y'all to listen to me. If the sun is shining brightest on the earth in Leo, which sign is the darkest on the earth? I'm going to teach y'all this. If the sun is shining the brightest on the earth in Leo, then where's the darkest spot on planet Earth? Aquarius. There you go. Thank you. You guys go follow them. Go follow King of Eyes Survey, one of my prize students. Go follow KK Ackham, is another good student. Not your natty. Yeah, I remember y'all. I know who y'all live. I know y'all students. I know my students when I hear them. But see, so we understand that now when you're looking at the light spectrum, you guys, the light spectrum, remember you got ultraviolet up here, infrared up here. Everything outside of what you can see is called dark matter. It's called darkness. But that is a part of the light spectrum. It's called invisible light. Why would you call something invisible light for? Either you can see it or you can't to call it light. How in the hell do you use invisible and light at the same time? Because darkness is a part of the light spectrum. That's why you can't see air, but it exists. So that means that just because you can't see God don't mean it don't exist. And just because you can't see the mastermind of all of this stuff don't mean it exists. Everything originates from the mind. There is an ultimate mind that created all things, and then it is your mind that is made in the image of that mind. So when you're reading the Bible, it ain't about human arms and two legs and some hair growing in their face to make you like God. It's your mind. Imagery is a root word of imagination. It is always have been about the mind. It's the image that it gets permeated in your mind. You are made in the image of God. That image gets stuck well in your heart. Does the image get stuck well in your eyes, in your nose? Where did that image of God get stuck? So you have this universal mind that created its own design in a living, walking being. All it did was put its mind in a living, walking being, different from a monkey. A monkey, it gave it 2 feet. I mean, it gave it 4 hands. So even if you gave it a great mind, it's off balance. It had 4 hands. Then you gave most of the other animals 4 feet. Even if you gave them a good mind, they were off balance. So then you came up with the grand old idea of mind. See, you calling it all this other stuff. That's how you get confused with who you're talking to. When you know who you're talking to, you know you're talking to mind. See, mind said, you know what, it still ain't good enough yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something with 2 hands and 2 feet and keep it balanced. And so then balance became the design. Y'all keep tapping, man. I'll keep talking, you guys. And then balance became the design. Okay? And then balance became the design. So I'm going to put my mind in balance. So then you have my art, you have all of these words that are saying the same old shit. Homeostasis, my art, and all of these old big ass conscious words. Stop drooling me down with your high intelligence and education and tell me, how does this enrich my life right now? I'm working at Burger King, I'm working at McDonald's, I'm working at a White House, I'm a voter, I'm about to go to jail, I'm Rico on the block selling dope. How is this gonna help me in my life? I ain't got no this and no that, this and the third. What are you teaching on these platforms, or what are you offering to mankind where it's gonna help me in my worst need? And so you say, okay, well, what is the worst need? What is the biggest problem on the planet that needs to be solved? Anybody know? I'm going to ask y'all. I'm going to tell you what it is. But what is the biggest problem on the planet that needs to be solved in a human's life? Come on, somebody. Y'all humans, I'm talking to you. Show. What is the biggest human problem that you feel like it is? Some people say reaching your highest self, balance, rest. What else you got? So y'all feel like the biggest problems on earth is balance, how to heal. What you got? Health. Yes, that's it right there. So you said the right word right there, Lori, Steve, and oh wow, she bakes too. See, I like the right words, right? So that we don't even have to kind of, we ain't even got to kind of pussyfoot around about what it is that we trying to hear and listen to. The word is health. The biggest problem on the planet is health, right? Health ain't just a blow to you as an individual. It's a blow to the whole capitalistic industry. Do you know how much it really costs for when you miss work, productivity-wise? Do you know that when you miss work, if you can't work, if you out of work and sick, how much money you're costing the job versus the productivity that you could be making the job when you're sitting in that seat? As a company, I would rather prefer you to be able to clock in and sit there even if you ain't doing no work, because I'm going to be able to get something out of you even if you think it ain't nothing, which is just security, which is you staying aware of everything, keeping an eye on stuff, even if you're sleeping now, somebody there demand it other than me. So even when you think you ain't nothing to do, you're doing something, okay? And I can benefit out there as a business owner. But to not have your body be able to be there due to sickness is a problem for capitalism just as much as it's a problem for you. So don't nobody really want no sick workforce. And that's what the American economy is becoming to be, is a sick workforce. Well, why are we getting sick? Because we're not taking enough emphasis on body preservation. Due to the capitalistic industrial complex, everybody is rammed down, babbity bam, okay, and running the body down. You got life in-home issues going on. You got bill paying issues going on, and you add all of that up into what the world wants versus what family members want. Man, look here. The child grow up having to try to fulfill the needs of a family. Then you got to grow up trying to fulfill the needs of an adult. Then you got to grow up and try to fulfill the needs of a husband, a wife, a man, or whatever folk expectations is in these titles. And you're really running the mind and the body down. So by the time you get 70 or 80, you ready to leave him. Them folk went and told you got something over there, you over there like, ooh, I'm about to get the hell on way, man. But the reality is that it's because you don't know how to share the time and space. Share the time and space with what, HerbMan? Thank you for asking. There are times when that's going to give you an influx of intellectual opportunities. That's called the time of low tide. That's called the time of new moon. That's called the time of waning. Y'all write this down. Okay. You're going to get 60 years. 60 years of intellectual opportunities. Things that are going to be able to come into your paradigm that you've already known before, or something that you can use that known information to capitalize on things. So this is the time of the known. What you know you can benefit off of in the time of intellect. You get 60 years. Okay? We're going to learn just a little bit today, then we'll go into the birthdays, okay? You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. All right? Now, you're going to get 60 years of intellectual time. This is going to be the time of the knowing. What you know, what you've learned, what you know, what you've seen before, you'll be able to put all of that out here into the atmosphere and it will benefit you. And it's going to be opportunities that's going to come into your life in this time for you to show if you know what you're doing. Remember that God put a mind in a 2-hand, 2-feet being and going to give it opportunities to see what it does with the environmental stimuli. Come on, somebody, please listen. Mind, universal mind, made you in his image, gave you the mind of the universe, but gave you 2 hands and 2 feet so that you can work with the environmental stimuli through how you think. So you create tools with your hand. Instead of you just looking at these motherfuckers doing this, you start picking up things. You start making things. That's what makes you different. You able to make things and create things. Well, animals can do it too. A beaver can make a dam. Yeah, you talking about? You ain't said nothing now. A bird can make a nest. So I ain't just saying because you got hands, you can do. What I'm trying to say is if I give you mind and I give you these 2 tools here and these 2 tools here, you'll begin to navigate and you'll begin to create. You can find your way through on your feet and you'll be able to create from the natural resources that you're around. And that was the whole plan, to put mind in a body with 2 hands and 2 feet, creating the balance and seeing with mind with balance, what would that happen? Now, guess what happened? You came in out of balance. So the purpose is that you are a mind that needs to be balanced. Balanced with what? With what? Its body. And there are opportune times, or there are times in this spectrum that you're in where your mind is not directly connected with your body. Now, your brain don't never leave your body, but your mind do. You can be in jail right now. Guess what? If you're in jail, your brain in jail, but your mind ain't. Your body and your brain is in your car right now, but if you listening to me or if you ain't, your mind ain't. See, so my point to you is that the mind can leave the body. Your mind, y'all, not your brain. Your mind and your brain different. Listen to what I'm saying. Your mind can leave your body. What I'm teaching you is that when in these environmental stimuli, if you keep letting your mind leave your brain, you keep letting your mind leave your body, then what happened is your body becomes vulnerable to the environment. And in most times, it will subside to the environment. It ain't gonna change. So if you have cranked this body up to like pork, pig feet, alcohol, drugs, sex, work, whatever it is that you put into this body, if you let it go on its own, it's only going to want to satisfy that which has been engineered in it. It is only the mind that is creating the friction, the opposition, the direction or correction is being made with your mind. But when you are absent-minded, absent-bodied, and you are allowing for the stimuli to make you depressed or anxious about life, then you're never in the present moment, which the body's environment is in. Which means now that you're not in the present moment in thought, you're not in the present moment in literalism, you are in the present moment physically, but not here mentally. Then what happens is now the body is vulnerable to you could smoke all day and don't know you don't smoke all these Newport. You don't know you don't drink all the alcohol. You ain't know you had no smoked all this dope, man. What the hell wrong with you? Because you out of body. And you trying to get there with the stuff you're doing, but you also are already out of there because of how you're doing the stuff. And we do this all the time, and that's how we're coping with the environmental stimuli. And I'm here to tell you that if cancer diagnosis is not all these diagnoses, they all these word spells, everything people say to you, all this stuff can trigger these out of body experiences. Moving forward or backward in time to deal with those things in your today. So you allow all your today to be occupied by a yesterday happening. And you allowed all your today to be occupied by a tomorrow thing that ain't even happened yet. So you gossiping all day long about what happened yesterday. You done took up all today to tell somebody about yesterday. You took up all the day to prepare for tomorrow. And those things, one of them is gone and another ain't promised to you. So it is in today where you're able to be a little bit more stable. And what I'm saying is that when we're able to get you, that is an example for what I'm trying to tell you about the kind of concentration and focus that needs to happen in order for you to really be able to do this thing. It is real, it's possible, but it's going to take a high level of concentration and focus, because we got to get the womb here in your mind to create again. See, a lot of you guys are worried about menopause down here, and a lot of you guys are worried about being infertile down here, but you don't know nothing about infertility in the mind. So, but you want to be healed. You want to walk away from modern medicine. You want to walk away from modern medication. You want to walk away from the pharmaceutical industry. You feel and know that those things are not good and conducive to your health, but what other thing you gonna get to? Because what this requires is then this right here to get back creative again, to get back fertile again, so that now when we want to produce healing, healing can be produced in the ground, the soil of your mind. So when we plant the seeds of what you want out of life, they can have room to grow in the mind. This is a womb and this is a womb. Any questions? Keep tapping the screen, you guys. I get with you. Sometimes I get a little dizzy up here, man. Be up in this thing talking to y'all, man. But I want you guys to really gather this information. If you got questions, please feel free. If you gotten your owner's manual, then you can ask me questions. You can call me between the times of 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can save my contact and download WhatsApp and get in contact with me. If you are interested in your owner's manual, you can DM me and we'll get you the information that you need. Or otherwise, you can just go to the website, type in email in the search engine, get your owner's manual on your own reconnect. It's free shipping. It comes through your email, and therefore you can have it in your hands as well. Now, it's normally a 24-hour turnaround, but I can't promise y'all that. But that's just what we say from a business standpoint. It's normally a 24-hour turnaround, okay? And we try to hold on to that, but sometimes we can't because of the influx of people that's doing it, and I'm the only person doing it. So I ain't just the person that you're seeing here. I'm the person you're going to talk to on the phone. I'm the person that's emailing you. I'm the person that's shipping it to you. I made it. I created it. I'm doing everything. So, you know, bear with me. Be patient with the process because it's only me. Okay? It's only me. So understanding this dynamic of balance being the purpose, then you must understand that the key to understanding the Bible or any ancient information is not about really believing in Adam and Eve, but more about believing in two opposition energies that work as a oneness that you call mind today. Okay? And so there is a point in time where your left and right brain work so cohesively together without the battle, without the disagreement. And it was easy for them to channel into nature, which is why you can't understand how the pyramids were made, because they were made out of nature. Okay? They was made from nature, out of nature, but with a mind that was involved and intricately woven with nature. So what you think that you need to do with a crane today, my mind could do that back then. What you think that you could do with a big old tank or skyscraper or big old rocket today, my mind could do back in time. And so the thing was, everybody can't have this mind's power. So it became sacred information. Everybody can't know about this mind's power, so it became sacred information. So now you only go pay your pastor for this information. You only go pay your discipline therapist. You only go pay somebody, a professional, for this information to teach you about self, but you can have it for it's really for you. Because what's happening is that there is a breakdown of the regime. There's a breakdown of the security system. There's a breakdown of the status quo. And then there's becoming something new. And in that, there must be a free dome, but the free dome must be taught, because you got to understand the way back home is facing north. The way back home is facing your most highest state. The way back home is getting from the lower self to the higher self. And what we're teaching you is how to balance out your time here. Birthday, please. Birthday, please, real quick. YouTube, TikTok, whoever got a birthday. I just need the month, day, and the year, really quick. Type fast, you guys. I don't need a whole bunch of them because, everybody will flood me with it. All right, 13 July 1980. Okay, 13 July 1980. If I've done you before, please fast, okay? Please fast. If I've done you before, please fast. I don't want to keep doing the same old motherfuckers every day. Don't nobody want to do that, right? So if I've done you before, stop putting your birthday up there. All right, so here we go. 7/13/1980. We know that to be a what? 6/21 to 7/21 is going to make you a Cancer. All right, so you right here. Boom. Okay, so you are right here. All right, now today is 7/24/2025 in your mind. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is the secret in the sauce is the time warping. So I teach you about how your mind leaving your body for a purpose. It will just show you how easy it is to be out of time, to be out of you can go forward thinking and you can go backward thinking. You can think of the future and you can think of the past. You can be anxious and anxiety and you can be depressed. So you can see where you can do this. Now, because you know that you can do this in a mind state, I got to show you how you can do this in a time state. Because the mind and the time is the two things you got to realize how to work in order to extend your time here is to be able to extend your mind. So you got to be able to open up. See, what I'm saying is that how can you have this big old spirit and a little bit of ass body? That don't even, you can't put all of this power in a source that can't have the capacity to hold it. So when you're looking for big spirit, you got to be able to build this body up. You got to have physical fitness for a spiritual fit person. That's why they teach you about the temple got to be clean and all of this for the spirit. You got to have physical fitness to be spiritually fit. Okay? I'm telling you that, right? So now you got this person right here born. And so now the thing about it is everybody on the north hemisphere and the southern hemisphere will write that today is 7/24/2025. That's where you're wrong at. Okay? And that's how easy it is to get you out of tune with nature, get you out of balance. So now when you're asking for healing, there's no connection to source. You're not doing it in time, in the right time. You don't understand how to get into sync with God. How to actually talk to nature, talk to God is a process. That's why you see Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, because he went back to nature. That's why you see Adam and Eve, the story start in the Garden of Eden, because it started in nature. It started with nature. Why didn't the animals eat Adam and Eve? Because back then there was such a cohesiveness, there was such a balance and a homeostasis that the animals didn't need to eat Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve didn't need to eat the animals. See, that's why you got to understand that that's the whole plan. The whole purpose is to get this planet back into that type of homeostatic. But how are you going to do that if you don't know the proper design? So Christianity ain't helping you get the planet back into homeostasis. The Judaism ain't helping you get the planet back into. You still not giving a damn about the planet and the job that you and the woman species was put here as duality spirits to the energies. So the energies created themselves. Masculine energy created itself and became a male. Feminine energy created itself and it became a female. But the two now, because it created itself in species, require each other. When it was energies, it didn't. So a masculine energy did not require a feminine energy, so it could be asexual in producing itself. You can do that in your mind. So you get caught up in this masculine energy perspective of life and you never tap over into your feminine energy, your right brain. Yeah, you're doing well in the world because the world is patriarchal and masculine energy. So you as a woman and a man is acting like men in the man's world. So you making it, you grooving, but it ain't going to extend your life because you ain't really balanced. And the purpose is balance. Where at first it wasn't a requirement to produce oneself. Now it is. Only way I'm going to double me, I got to sleep with a woman. And the only way she's going to double herself, she got to sleep with me. Now it's required for us to have each other. So now because of that requirement, we must find out a way to stay together. And the way to stay together and work together through the paradigm is to share in the work that needs to be done. So there are 60 years of intellectual time, and then there are 60 years of intuitive time. There are going to be times where you're going to know some shit, aka intellect. And there are going to be 60 years of some unknown, announced to you, I don't know, it ain't my fault, what happened, I don't know what's going on in my life, type of shit happening, because this is what you call earth phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. So that means that you ain't going to know other than knowing this. This is the sacred secretness to life. So if you ride the wave of intellect intuitively, you fail. If you ride the wave of intuition intellectually, you fail. Death is the cardinal sign of the failure to get the understanding infinity, everlasting life. Our purpose is to understand how to live forever in the paradigm. While you keep dying, you're going to keep trying. So you keep being reincarnated and rebirthed in your Akashic records and all this. They're not explaining it right to you. The reason why you keep coming back is because you're failing. Not because you're failing at a stage in life. It's because you failing, period, because you're dying. Yeah. Y'all, you keep coming back because you're dying. This is everlasting. How could you die in the everlasting realm? Do you see the sun dying? The sun don't die. When it's light over here, it's just dark over there, but the light still shines. You just on the dark side of a light that forever is going. The air ain't dying, the water ain't dying, the earth ain't dying. Yeah, you can go through as many winters as you want to. That little tree outside in front of your yard is still standing. Even if it ain't got no leaves on it right now, it's still standing. Winter don't kill the tree. Winter, fall just make the leaves come down, but the tree still living. You don't really see too much stuff attached to nature dying like that, man. Come on now, stop playing. That's really connected to the mastermind, the universe. There's something that you ain't got nothing to do with. That stuff right there don't really be going nowhere. Now, if you plant something out there to die, if you know what I mean, animals, but I'm talking about stuff that's really attached to the paradigm. They seem like they go forever. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you are just as permanent as those other things that we're talking about, but it takes a knowledge, a sacred knowledge for you to understand that you can't be everlasting in your body the way that you think. And I want to stop right there and pause and go slow when I say that. I do not ever promote death consciousness. So I'm not saying that you got to die to reach your most highest state. And I'm not saying you got to go to somewhere outside. Death is not ever going to be in this equation. What I'm teaching, preaching, and will always teach you guys from the bottom of my heart until the day that I die is life. You should have life consciousness. The end of these stories should mean everlasting life. Not that everybody you only got a few people that live in the Bible. Come on now. Where everlasting life at? So you're believing these things and you're going and you're reading about them, but you don't know what it looks like and how to get there. And you don't have to continue to keep preaching to me until you give me a design of what it looks like to reach the yellow brick road, what it looked like to be in Oz, what it looked like to be in heaven. What is the actual pathway to heaven? This is it. But you got to understand it for what it is. Okay? So we got it in Cancer at 7/13/1980. The current location. Now, when you're doing current location, you got to be very, very specific in what you're talking about. So we can do that with your owner's manual. So 7/13, obviously, if you're looking at 6/21 and 7/21, that's going to be what we would consider the third deacon. Okay, so she was born in the third deacon of Cancer, which means that she didn't get all of Cancer. She only got the third portion of Cancer that's going in, and then the sun was about to go into Leo. So she got the bottom portion or the last portion of Cancer. Now, in particular, that means that we got to say, okay, well, how many days is 13 from 21? Because at 7/21, it's going to be Leo. So let's say you say 8 days, right? So 8 days is going to mean that she did almost 3 years. But let's say she did, okay, we know that she did 3 days, 6 days. That make 2 years. Okay. So we know that she did 2 years. And so you say, what, 8 days? So 2 years and 8 months. She did 2 years and 8 months of Cancer. So the first 2 years and 8 months of Cancer is all she got of Cancer. That's how specific it can get. Now watch this. The woman is 46 years old, 45. She'll be 45 this year. Or is 45. So now let's do it. 2 years and 8 months. Each one of these accounting for 30 days count for 10 years. So each one of these is a month, right? So now we're going to say 2 years and 8 months, 12 years and 8 months, 22 years and 8 months, 32 years and 8 months. And then now we got to figure out, then this 42 years and 8 months. And then now we just got to figure out where she's at here in Sagittarius. And we're going to give you a date. Watch this. And I'm going to be able to tell you what date this woman is on in time. And she ain't going to be on time with the earth. You're already behind right here. But watch now, because every time you keep coming in, they're going to get you out of time so that you can't remember and you won't be able to tap in to this energy source that I'm telling you when I'm saying about heal yourself. So you got to know that this is going on so that you can be able to know how to strategize. Strategize meaning that you must understand that 2 times a day, 2 times a month, and 4 times a year, you're getting opportunities despite this going on in your reincarnation spell. That's how good God loved you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. This is the timekeeper. It was the secret in what the enemy, what the opposition, what time is trying to do to you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in it, you got to know the path of the son. You got to follow the Son of God to believe in it. That you shall not perish but have everlasting life. You must understand where the oppositions are going to be at in here, but then you also understand where the opportunities at. And then guess what? You can extend your life based on the opportunities because you know where you are. You only can know when to do something when you know where you are. You only can know where you are when you get your funky owners manual for your funky measly $50. All right. Now, okay, so now watch this now. So now we got it down to 42. All right. 42 years and 8 months. What we need is 45. Okay. So then we can count into the days of Sagittarius. Now, when does Sagittarius start? Sagittarius start between the times of 11/21 to 12/21, according to the Gregorian calendar. So I'm going to give you those dates first before I give you the real dates, okay? So 11/21 to 12/21 is a Sagittarius. That's where she at. So a lot of moving pieces going on in her life. But before I start teaching her on the life, I'm gonna teach you real slow. This one person. Okay. So now we got to get her to 45 because that's what she's at today. We got to give her to 45. She's at 42 in 8 months. All right. So we need 3 years, or we need at least 2 years and 4 months, right? So then we're gonna do 6 days because it's got 3 days. Give me 1 year. 3 days, give me 2, right? And then 1 day, give me 4 years. So I got 6, 7 days. So she's 7 days in to Sagittarius on the map of life. That makes her actually be in 11/28/2025. Okay, 11/28/2025. Now the reality of it is that this birthday is not right according to the Northern Hemisphere. So today being 7/24/2025, if you look at the Northern Hemisphere and go and get July, right, it's a 5. So the real time today is 5/24/2025. So you automatically 2 months behind if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, you go find July, and it says the 11th month. So in the Southern Hemisphere, the day is 11/24/2025. So if you were writing 7/24/2025 and you live under the equator, you are putting yourself 4 months behind. I'm sorry, you putting yourself 4 months ahead of time. No, I'm saying, no, you putting yourself 4 months behind time. I'm sorry. That's right. If you was writing 7/24 under the equator, you put yourself 4 months behind time. If you wrote 7/24/2025 in the Northern Hemisphere, you put yourself 2 months ahead of time. This is a consciousness and a vibration this is a language. Remember that numbers hold language. So I'm using your birthday to tell everything about you. What the hell you think these days doing? These days got information. These numbers are holding language that is going to be a tendency for that day. A weather pattern in your life. And you don't know nothing about it. You off season. So you done sat here and wrote 7/24 in the Northern Hemisphere and put yourself 2 months ahead of real time. And you done sat here and wrote the same number in the Southern Hemisphere and then sat there and put yourself 4 months behind time. Come on now, make it make sense. Okay? So now, this is what you would call the real time of the Gregorian calendar of where she at. But so now we go and get Sagittarius, right? So that's we go and get Sagittarius, the 11th month. So we go down here and find Sag. Sag is normally going to be in what, December? Right, so you got Aries. Well, let's put it like this. You got Libra. Scorpio, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius in November, so that's 3. So in reality, you 3/28/2025. Okay. In reality, you are 3/28/2025 in the Southern Hemisphere of your lifespan. You're in the spiritual time of life, 7/13/1980. Are you still with me? Because now we're finna do your reading. Okay, your model number is 713. That makes 20, so that's 2. You 18 is plus 0 is 18. So that's going to be 8 and 1 is 9. 9 and 2. Okay. 9 and 2 is going to be 11. And that's your model number, model 11. Your spiritual tendency is going to be guilt and unforgiveness. And you can tell me when we're wrong. Okay. And reproductive problems. Okay, reproductive issues. Okay, KK Alchemist, thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient. Okay, model number 11. Okay, very spiritual person. All right, but guilt and unforgiveness. Guilt and unforgiveness can wreak havoc on you spiritually and cause problems with your reproductive system, okay? Now, the fact that you were born also in the last decan here of Sagittarius, we want to make sure that you watch out for your eyesight, okay? The last decan of Sagittarius, we want to make sure you watch out for your eyesight, right? And so we want to make sure you understand that you want to watch out to be nearsighted, right? Nearsighted. You can see near, but maybe not far. When we have issues with the eyes, there also are spiritual implications to how you plan. So if you're nearsighted, KK Alchemist, that means also that you are a great long-term planner, but you ain't all that good at the day-to-day planning, the short-term planning, the daily tasks. So you want to make sure you're practicing, and you want to make sure that you're helping yourself balance in that area. And then also you want to watch out for issues with the speech. Okay, you can be a great speaker, or you can be somebody who don't speak as well as you need to. Those are the things you want to watch out for right there just by your birthday, okay? Now, the bottom line is, now that we see this, we see that today in the Southern Hemisphere. So in your time of life, you're in your spiritual time. This is a high tide. This is your intuitive time, not your physical body time. This is your time to work your mind. Think, focus, concentrate, pray, meditate, whatever it is to create the magnetic, bring it to you in thought. This is thought life. This is body time, mind time. Okay, you need to be thinking and praying, KK Alchemist, to bring things close to you, because that's that time of life. But let me show you how far off of the paradigm you is. 3/28/2025, but today really is 11/24/2025. So off the rip, you see you almost 8 months behind the Earth time. They put you in this paradigm 8 months behind the Earth's time. That's the Earth's time. But when you're actually doing this, remember I told you these are years. These counts for 10 years. So let's say if we look at you being in 3/28, that means that you just now come into the Scorpio, right? I mean the Sagittarius. And we said that you came in here, you got what 2-some years in here? I think you had about 2 years and 8 months in, right? So you got 2 years and 8 months into here, right? So then we'll say, okay, let's say I do the whole 10. So I got 10, 20, and then maybe 11/24 is 3 days in. So that's 1 year. So you about 21 years behind. So you're looking at 8 months, but you're looking at, they put you back into the paradigm 20 years behind time. Some of us are 30 years before. So you'll find some of us that go slow through the life, and some of us are very speedy, very fast in life. So you'll say that boy before their time, yeah, because they put him in. You can get put in depending on where you at. Now, where you're currently at is that you're just at this intuitive state. So that means that you got to go by the rules of the southern state of life. See, this is what I'm trying to be teaching y'all. See, if you don't know the rules of this wave, you trying to ride this, you trying to do what you did up here, down here, you won't last. There's 2 different tests, 2 different qualifications. There are 2 different mind frames that need to go on. Body won't pass this test, and mind won't pass bodies. Y'all understand? Please put some ones in the chat of your understanding. Get us up to 100K, you guys. Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Everybody understand, right? That if you don't understand the balancing act, I know we ain't broke it down about what the balance look like, what it feels like. Nobody really taught you this way. We get it. I came into the paradigm. Hell, I was looking for the same speaker until nature let me know that I am what I was looking for. What's missing is you. I said, damn. You looking for yourself. I said, oh, okay. You whatever it is missing, if you can't do it, then it ain't gonna never be there. I said, boy, y'all said something then, didn't you? Stop looking for yourself on these scroller days. Ain't nobody gonna act like you. Ain't nobody gonna make the decisions that you would. Ain't nobody gonna do it like you until you get there and impact the whole spectrum of this dynamic the way that your power can do it. It's all about riding the wave. Some of us tap into this stuff without even knowing this stuff. But it's now day and time for us to be able to articulate it and then be able to visualize it in a way for all of us to be able to get the illustration of really what everlasting life looks like. Is it really possible? Yes. Does it require certain things? Yes. First, it does require you to know your purpose. Yes, your purpose is to balance Adam and Eve, balance the mind and the body, balance the feminine and masculine energies within you, because they're both vulnerable for certain situations and they're both qualified to lead in certain situations. It ain't everything coming into your life paradigm ain't for Adam to take over. You're going to kill Adam in this particular earth element if you just let him run everything. That's something going to die. And Eve will too. But if you make them work together, there's going to be certain times in this environment where Adam's strength don't work in this scenario, but Eve's intuitiveness does. And it's going to be some times where Eve, little soft ass, will get ate the fuck up if it ain't for Adam's strength and feistiness, right? So they got to work together to keep each other alive, everlasting. And you don't know how to work them together. And that's why we're dying. And that's why the world is the way it is. And that's my thought about it, my philosophy about it. That's my understanding about it. I stand on it firmly. I put this out here every day. I live this every day. I built companies and I built a life off of it. I know that it's real. I know it works. If you believe in it or not, it doesn't require that for it to work for you. If you are interested in your owner's manual, please DM me and we'll get you everything that you need. Now, with that being said, one last thing, KK Alchemist. Okay? The fact that you're just now coming into Sagittarius, a lot of the movement in your life has just started. Okay? A lot of the movement in your life has just started. And I'm going to tell you what just started. You're just starting to start new learning experiences. Okay? Sagittarius is going to take you on a journey of new learning experiences. That's just starting for you. Okay? That means that there's going to be a lot of thoughts about moving around and traveling and seeing different things and just experiencing different things. And that's fine. But I don't want you to fight against the movement of Sagittarius, because without the movement of Sagittarius, the next lesson is going to be structure, is going to be settlement, right? So if you fight against the movement of Sagittarius, then wherever you settle at in Sagittarius, then you didn't learn that lesson for Capricorn. Capricorn is your settlement time. Sagittarius is your movement time. If it ever is a time in your life, KK Alchemist, you want to move around and make goddamn some decisions or just learning and be on the fly, it is now. Don't fight against it. Also, find your passion. You're starting to find your passion. Starting to find your passion is going to be the mechanism, the vehicle, KK Alchemist, that is taking you on these new learning experiences. So congratulations in finding your new passion for the things that you want to do in life, okay? The things that I told you about health-wise is what you need to know and moving forward, because you're not that old. But as you move forward in age, understand that this time of life, okay, is your intuitive phase. You got a long time before you get back into the physical phase, but you must pass the spiritual test, which is to stay in rest, stay in manifest, stay in contemplation, concentrations, stay in prayer, in meditation, stay in thought, stay in the spirit. You'll pass the test. Okay? All right. And if you want your owner's manual, obviously, if you got issues going on, KK Alchemist, with paying the funky measly $50, you do get your herbs, you get your foods, you get all of the lifestyle things and activities and nutrition and everything that you need in your reading comes there for that $50 cost. Okay, we can't do everybody like that on the live because it's just simply too many people. But KK Alchemist, what do you got to say about that little short reading about your health? Okay, the health of your consciousness is just as important as the health of your body. So KK, we want to hear from you now. Now you can come up on the live if you want to, or you can just tell us what you think in your chat room. You know what I mean? So that is what I try to teach you guys about the times. Okay? Being 8 months behind the real time, but being 20-something years behind time in spiritual understanding is the reason why we can't synergize, and there's not a whole lot of messiahs, star seeds, and all that stuff in the way that we was pushing them out before, because before this was nations of people that knew how to concentrate and focus and get into this consciousness. That's why you said, I told y'all don't really understand how they built the pyramid. You can have a collective of people that know this spirituality and be able to move anything. You can put a bunch of people that's in their spiritual, intuitive time of life together and conjugate up anything on the earth spectrum. Now, again, we're doing this by accident. I want you to do it by intent. Okay? There are millions of us that are intentionally stepping into the right times of alignment without knowing it. They hitting the numbers, they getting the job they looking for, they found the right person they was looking for, they got the kids they was looking for, they got the right this and the right that. They don't know nothing about this science. They just simply stepping into some shit for real, for real. They stepping into alignment blindly without knowing it. It's going to happen because of the light spectrum. Like I told you, the rays of the light, the sun path, the lighted path. It shines every now and then on every dog's ass. Ain't that what they said? So sometimes the dog ain't got to be worth a shit to get that sunshine. Don't got to be doing nothing for it to get it. That's off accident that we're seeing these things. I'm teaching you a system of how to do it intentionally. This is a system of how to conjugate up your healing intentionally. Not the healing just of your body, but the healing of your social parameters, the healing of your relationships, the healing of your finances, the healing of anything that you consider to be broken under the paradigm in which you live in. What we're showing you is the secret to balancing yourself and life out. Some things are coming to you because you are calling for it out of season. Some things ain't coming to you because you're calling for it out of season. You're asking for Rico, you're asking for a husband at the wrong time. So you don't went to the club and thought that they would call, but it ain't the right time for you. You asking for children at the wrong time. You thinking somebody don't want you to have kids. Yes, they do, but you got to get there at the right time. And so if God said you're supposed to have children in the spring, you don't know that. You want some in the summer. So every time spring comes, you ain't never doing nothing to have no baby. You going against that wave. And it ain't nobody's fault that you ain't having a baby other than your ignorance of the ways of life and the seasons of life, so that you can get into balance and get in tune with knowing when to have your wants, needs, and desires met. Nature can fulfill your wants, needs, and desires. You got to be synergized, and you have to be parallel, and you have to be connected to nature in such a way that you know what those times is. I remember my grandma used to say, I can smell it by the rain. It ain't rain, Jay. How in the hell you can smell it? Because there was a certain smell in the next 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, next couple hours or so, it finna rain. Or arthritis, it finna be cold in the morning. Boy, I got my arthritis, I ain't never, it finna be cold front coming through, right? So because you're synergized with the nature. And smell it rain before it rains. How the hell you know it finna be cold in your bone before it got cold? Synergized with nature. We've been doing it. So you can't tell me that this doesn't work. And for the last 7 years, I've been teaching this, and I've been living off of this knowledge. And now I am currently living in South Africa. Right? So it's moving me all around the world. I was successful in America. I'm successful over here. I'm still living. I'm still giving and still sharing. Right? We're still going. So 7 years down the road, creating products from this science, creating programs from this science has been the life-altering, life-changing thing for me. And I'm just excited to share it to you. And if you don't believe in it or not, that's fine. It'll still work for you. If you're looking for a health tool, it's just like going to the doctor. You and Habib, your doctor don't believe in the same God. Trust me, Habib, they don't believe in Christianity like that now. And some of these African doctors you're going to nowadays don't believe in none of this Christianity you're doing. So but we ain't talking religion in the doctor's office. We just want the doctor to use that stethoscope, use that thermometer, use whatever you got to do, medicate, help me. So that's what this is. Don't worry about all that. It ain't gonna change nothing in your life other than your health and your consciousness, your mind. Something that some of those other belief systems should have done a long time ago. The God that you believe in should have been put you on nature. You should have been known to get in tune and get in balance with nature to really know God. That didn't have to be taught in a book. A gorilla don't have to learn how to be a gorilla. It just watches another gorilla. An elephant don't go to school to be an elephant. It just watches the other elephants. So why in the hell are human beings going to school to learn how to be human beings? What are you learning in the books? Because for a boy, all you got to do is look at your daddy to learn how to be a man. And for a woman, all you got to do is look at your mama to learn how to be a woman. In the old and golden times. Who are you becoming? You're transforming into something else. That's causing enmity between you and nature. Your modern creations and your modern ideology of who it is that you think you are and who it is that you think you is and where it is that you think you need to be in life is causing enmity between where nature really got you at. Okay? I ain't even get to hear what KK said. I'm sorry about that, y'all. You know, I get on my little tangent. KK, what you said? I got to go all the way back up here to see what KK said. Yeah, KK, what you said? KK will be like, damn, boy, you forgot all about me. Y'all make this stuff so hard ground and talk to your inner self. You'll never go wrong. They say that it's thin line to enter into the gates of heaven. And me, what you said, believe it. I see the key to learn balance between the two sides. Too much one side, you're off balance. Yeah. When you use them both in harmony, you can walk a fine line. Yeah. When you use them both in harmony is when you're in your tool bag. That's when you in your bag. Think about a high wire walker. Yeah, balancing. There you go. There you go. Y'all putting it out there. What does the 30 years behind mean, please? That's when they, okay, so that's what you asked. Okay, KK Alchemist. What does the 30 years behind time mean? I didn't say, so you're actually 21 years behind. You're 21 years behind, but that's what they do when they put you back in. Okay, so you remember what I just told you. Everybody fails who dies. Everybody is failing whoever has ever experienced death. And whoever will experience death, that means you failed. Failed at what? This. If you ever died, you failed. So that's why the stories are about the people who passed the test. If you ever failed, if you ever died, you failed this test of everlasting life, which means that you came into the paradigm not understanding how to be in heaven and how to be balanced, how to be content, how to be in peace. You never found rest, relaxation, because you were looking at what you created versus what nature created. I gave you the opportunity to do whatever, but you don't have to oppress yourself. It's just like in the Garden of Eden. They had everything with God, but they chose to have everything with themselves. So that decision is always there for you. So the way back home is to choose the tree of life, not the tree of good and evil. Duh. If you got a decision between the tree of life and the tree of good and evil, you keep choosing your running shit. So there's no contentment in God. There's no peace in God. You're not choosing God. You're still running off your own knowledge. That's why I don't want to be the one tell you about my herbs for your fucking condition. I don't want to be the one you depending on for your health. I'm trying to tell you that there's somebody else greater than us that we can call on. You can read it through numbers. You can read it through the Bible. You can go through the smoke. You can do through the talking, the tongues or whatever, the chanting and dancing you want to, but there's a channel that you can turn to. It's called 7.8 hertz in your spirit. Now, you can get that through this knowledge, you probably done jumped in and out of it by mistake before. Remember, we do this incidental all the time instead of intentional. But I'm just teaching you what you're doing. You're tapping in, and when you tap in, then there's a place here that's got information that ain't never been had before. That's where this stuff come up at. It regurgitates up out of those people who are remembering. And so along the course of this particular game of life, along the course of this yellow brick road, you find a little bit of information that's going to help you along the journey. And this is one of them. It is called the balancing scale, the timekeeper. What we call it is the owner's manual. Okay? What we call it is the owner's manual. So being 21 years behind is how they put you back into time. But there are times, so you can't catch up with the earth because you move slower through this paradigm than the earth, the sun, and the moon. The earth, the sun, and the moon move through this faster than you do. Understand things about orbits and planetary movement. Okay. The earth, the sun, and the moon move faster through this than you do. You're stopping 10 years at each lesson. But in a month, the moon done went through this. In a year, the earth done went through this. You see, or the sun done went through this, right? So the sun will go through this in a day, the moon go through this in a month, and the earth go through this in a year. Right? So they're moving through this faster than you. But what I just told you is that they're going to lap you. When they lap you, there is times of alignment. Listen to me if you've ever learned consciousness. If you've ever been